Yo, everybody, welcome to a brand new episode of the Babblemouth podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about a little bit of a work rant. That's how we're going to start the podcast at least. And then I'm going to be going into a little bit more PS5 news, more of PS5 news for myself, more not really anything crazy about the console, but I don't know, we'll see what happens. And we're also going to be talking about the lack of streams from me. We'll get into that as well. We're also going to be talking about quad pay, if you've never heard of it. And we're also going to be talking about how the podcast is growing. So yeah, those are the topics for today. Welcome to episode 6 of the Babblemouth podcast. Which, by the way, I do want to say this, is now available on YouTube. The one thing I do want to say about the YouTube is it'll most likely not, in terms of YouTube, the episodes most likely won't come out on YouTube right away, just because it takes a little bit more, it's a little more work to it than just putting it onto Anchor and then posting it out. Because on Anchor, all I have to do is edit the podcast in Audacity, mess with the audio. All I really do in Audacity is a noise remover, just so there's no white noise. It's just flat and it's clean, no white noise, because I don't want the white noise. It's disgusting, and that's also one of the reasons why I film in the closet. Which, by the way, we are back in the closet for today's episode, which most of the episodes are probably going to be in the closet, but we're gonna see. We'll see what happens. But yeah. So once I render out the episode on Audacity after the noise removal and everything, all you do on Anchor is you upload the podcast, you save it as an episode, and then you title it, and then you're done, and then it just puts it everywhere for you. That's it. You don't have to do anything. But on YouTube, I have to do all of that still, but then I also need to throw it into Sony Vegas, render it out with the picture, and then render that out. Then I have to upload that onto the YouTube channel. But the YouTube channel is up if you want to listen to the podcast on YouTube. Maybe you're one of those people that have YouTube Premium, which then it'd be perfect for you. If you have YouTube Premium but you don't have like Spotify or Apple, I think is it Apple Music or would it be Apple Podcast? Would you have? Actually, no. I've never actually thought about this. Do you have to have Apple Music for Apple Podcasts? Or, I mean, because I know if you have an iOS device, I think there's just a podcast app. I actually don't know. We'll get back to that eventually, maybe. It's really not that big of a deal. But it's on YouTube now. The YouTube channel is Babblemouth. It might be a little difficult to find. I don't know. But if you also want to know, it's on my Twitter. You can find it there as well if you want to get to the YouTube channel. But if you put Babblemouth, ImNexusss, it'll probably pop up, I'd imagine. But that I also don't know. But it's called Babblemouth. It's not Babblemouth Podcast. It's just called Babblemouth. And then, yeah, you'll find it on YouTube. It is now available. Every episode up to this point is now available. And if you're listening to this in the future, leave a comment on the YouTube channel. But anyway, let's get into the first topic. I want to rant about my work, and we're going to do a work reveal. Finally, I know you guys have been so fucking excited for this. You guys want to know where I work because you fucking care so much. I can tell you're sitting there or standing there or whatever you're doing right now. I can tell, damn, I want to know where this asshole works. Well, we're going to get into that. But before I'm going to reveal where I work at the end of this rant. The very last thing I say is going to be the place that I work. And if maybe you'll guess before we get to that point, or maybe you already know. And if you already know, congratulations. If you don't know where I work, then you're about to know. It's not that crazy. It's not that exciting. But we're going to rant about it regardless, because there's a lot to rant about, because it is fucking complete and utter horseshit. Excuse me. But basically, let's get into this. So where I work, I am I'm not even going to say the position, because I've never actually heard of this position anywhere else, because I feel like if I say my title, it'll give away where I work, so we're not going to do that yet either. But basically, where I work, I guess you could say I don't even know how else to say this, but I guess you could say I'm a freight worker. I work, so basically, my team unloads the trucks, and then we take that supply out to the floor and stock it. And then if other trucks come to the store, we also pull those pallets out of the truck onto the floor. So we have to unload a truck onto we call it the line. It's just like it's I guess robotic, automatic line that you put a box on it and then it'll transport it down the line for you. And then when it gets to its section, it'll shoot to whatever section it's supposed to be on. So if it goes on the, if it goes in like the sports section, it'll go down to that part of the line, and then it'll shoot onto that rack. So that way everything gets organized. Then when it gets to that, then you have to pick that up off the line, then take it to its pallet, so it gets unloaded onto this line. So someone has to manually unload it onto this line, and then it'll shoot down the line, get to its section. Then you have to manually unload it off that part of the line onto a pallet. And this is one of the first bullshit things, because if you've never done this, then it won't really make sense to why this is dumb. But imagine heavy ass boxes. We're saying probably like, and this isn't going to sound heavy because it's really not, but when you have to pick it up over and over and over and over and over again, it starts to get heavy. We're going to say like 30 to 40 pound boxes that just keep coming and coming and coming and coming. And keep in mind, when I first got hired onto this position, the manager of my team at the time told me that there wasn't a lot of lifting and that it really wasn't that much work. Not only was he completely bullshitting me, but he was bullshitting me so fucking much that it's actually kind of fucked up to how much he was bullshitting me. But basically, this line system, is, I'm not even act like it's good, because it's not. It fucking barely works half the time. Either some part of the line, because there's parts of the line where it's metal, and there's other parts of the line where it's like a rubber. I don't even know. I guess kind of like a rope. Like it's a rubber rope, but it's like pushing it forward, kind of deal. Kind of like conveyor belt, I guess it would be. Not real. I don't even know how to explain it because I can't think of anything. Think of like, it doesn't matter. Basically, this thing fucking breaks all the time, and I'm actually kind of fucking pissed that I can't think of anything. But think of this thing, but it breaks all the time. So either it jams when it shouldn't be jamming. One of these rubber lines pops out, then you have to put it back in. Constantly. This shit happens every single day. Or I guess a little more from my personal experiences for our line. Part of our line, the part that we connect that goes into the truck. One time, one of my coworkers put a thing of vinegar on it, but the vinegar was broken, and it went down the line, and it ruined, and then the line was just fucked. And then eventually we got it going again. I wasn't there when this happened, but yeah, if anything hits it in the wrong way, it'll just stop working completely. And our line is so fucked. It is so fucked. It's like rage-inducing even thinking about how fucked this thing is. It's a piece of shit, and apparently this piece of equipment costs the same amount as a Ferrari. And I don't actually know how much a Ferrari is, but I want to say around 250,000. And if this piece of equipment is $250,000, it's definitely at least 250,000. How the fuck is this thing $250,000? It fucking doesn't work ever. And now, what really confuses me is they were supposed to. I mean, they haven't done it to us yet, but apparently they were supposed to start, instead of sending just loose trucks. And when I say loose trucks, because you have to unload everything. This truck literally comes. It's just individual boxes packed into a truck, and you have to throw them onto this line, one by one. And we're talking like at smallest, probably like 1,800 individual pieces, up to like 3,000. I think the biggest truck I've unloaded is like 3,100. So that's 3,100 individual boxes that you have to pick up and put onto this line. And this takes anywhere from 2 to 3.5 hours to unload a truck, depending on the size. It takes 2 to 3.5 hours to unload a truck. And even when you're having a good day, since our machine is so fucked, it'll take, no matter what you do, it could be the smallest truck in the world, it'll still somehow take us 2 fucking hours to unload one of these trucks. It's fucked. It's so fucked. And some of you might know what I'm talking about, and you might have already guessed where I work. And like I said, we're going to say it at the end. But let's move on. We're going to stay on the truck because there's still more. So there's on the truck, there's the grocery side of the truck, and then there's the GM side. GM being general merchandise, and then the grocery side is the grocery items, and then the paper and chem items. Because that's like, that stuff's on the grocery side of the store, and then the GM stuff is on the other side of the store. So the grocery side, most of the time, doesn't really get that crazy. Grocery, for most of the truck, will stay pretty busy. You'll have the occasional truck where grocery won't actually get that insane. You can actually manage it pretty easily. But most days, grocery does stay it stays packed constantly. But the GM side. So let me tell you how the truck is set up. So basically you have one person unloading the truck. So that's the person that's taking all those items and throwing it onto the line. There's one person doing that. And then on the grocery side, you have someone doing grocery. And then you have someone doing the paper and chem. And then on the GM side, how many people you think? Let's see. Who has a guess? No one's right. There's one person. There's one person who has to run 4 different sections by themselves. And may I add this? The GM side gets fucking overrun every time. No matter what you do, it'll get overrun by freight. I'm talking, because on the GM side you have lane 1, 3, 5, and 7. Lane 7 is going to get overrun every single time. It gets fucking literally it's like a rat's nest of fucking freight. It gets fucking jam packed. It's so fucking bullshit. Even thinking about this fucking is just irritating as fuck. But lane 5 and 3 also stay pretty fucking busy. But the reason lane 7 gets so packed is because if the scanner, because there's a scanner in the very beginning of the line that'll scan the box, it'll tell it what section it needs to go to. And if the scanner can't figure it out, where's the box gonna go? All the way to the fucking end. So if there's like a fucking 50-pound box that doesn't get fucking picked up by the scanner, it's gonna go all the way to the fucking end. And let's say it's like a piece of furniture, because most of the time furniture doesn't actually get scanned properly, and it'll go to the end, unfortunately. And basically, this fucking, I'd say some of these furniture boxes are like 100 pounds. And you have to pick this bitch up and then fucking walk its fucking sweet ass to the fucking very end of the warehouse. Not that far, but it's probably like 50 yards. No, that's a little excessive. I'd say the line is probably like 30 yards. So think of holding a 100-pound box and then having to walk it like 30 to 35 yards. I think it'd be about 30 yards, yeah. I think of like 30 yards on a football field. That's about that long. And this 100-pound box has to go all the way to the end. And then that'll happen pretty much every fucking day on the line. Not to furniture. Furniture is just the only example I can think of right now. But for a long time there was seasonal items, and seasonal items go on the general merchandise side. And currently, obviously, it's Halloween season, so we've been getting slammed with Halloween boxes. And for whatever reason, the seasonal pallet that these have to get stacked on is at the very end. And for some reason, they were set up to go they were like the box, even if it was scanned properly, it was set to go all the way to the other end. Eventually, it was changed to where it goes to lane 1, where the seasonal pallet is, because it starts. So the very beginning of the line, it starts at 1, and the end of the line is 7. So if I say 1, we're talking about the other end, and not either. Doesn't make sense. You get a point. Lane 1 is the first lane of the line past the scanner, and I don't know. GM site is fucked. If you've ever worked on this line that I'm speaking of, you'll understand how much GM site sucks, and only one person gets to do it. Most of the time, I'll give it credit where credit's due. Most of the time, we do have 2 people doing it, but for the last couple of days, there's only been 1 person doing it. And today was probably one of the worst trucks I've had to work on, just because it was there's only 3 of us, and I was on the grocery side. And doing the grocery side by yourself sometimes isn't bad if paper and chem isn't also getting a ton of freight. But if paper and chem is getting a ton of freight, trying to do grocery along that is fucking miserable. And guess what I had to do today? Exactly that. Because the person that was supposed to be doing grocery was bouncing back and forth between the GM side and the side that he was meant to be on. Because, I mean, I was doing pretty decently, because paper and chem is one of those places on the truck where it's either going to get hit really hard or it's not at all. And today it got hit. Let me re-say that. It's either going to get hit really hard over and over. That sounds bad, actually. It's going to get fucking hit from behind. It's paper and chem. You're either going to get a lot of paper and chem, or you're not going to get really at all. But sometimes paper and chem will get a shitload, and then it'll stop for like 20 minutes, and then it'll get a shitload, and it'll stop for like 20 minutes, then it'll get a shitload, and you'll stop for 20 minutes. But by the way, you also need to run the grocery by yourself, which, by the way, grocery, like I said, is usually packed. And I didn't say this yet, but when one of the lines, when one of the lanes is full, there's voice, like a, let's say, like, for example, like a kind of like a Siri type voice, or like a Alexa voice will come over the speaker that's on the machine, and it'll say, the one we hear the most is lane 7. It'll go, whenever one of the lanes gets full, it'll go, lane 7 is full, lane 7 is full, lane 7 is full, and it'll keep saying it over and over and over and over until that line isn't full. It will not stop saying it. Or when you have to hit the emergency stop button when one of the lines breaks or something, it'll go, emergency stop pushed, emergency stop pushed, emergency stop pushed. And it used to say e-stop pushed, e-stop pushed. But now they changed it to, so that says the full fucking word. And I didn't finish the one of the parts. So basically, if one of the items doesn't get scanned, it goes all the way to the end to the reject because the scanner rejected it. That's why it's called a reject. But they changed that to say, for now, it's lane 9. I don't know why. I don't know why they couldn't just call it reject. Because it used to say reject full, reject full, reject full. Now it says lane 9 is full. Lane 9 is full. Because lane 8 is the grocery lane. And then you got 9. But yeah, let's move on from the truck. Because I think you get the point and why that is fucking bullshit. And yeah, it's just fucking dumb. It's one of those things you need to experience. And when we get to the point to where I tell you where I work, you can Google it and maybe there's videos of it. But if someone says it's easy, they're fucking lying to you. If you see a video of people saying that the truck is easy, because they're fucking lying. Or they work at a place where they don't get a ton of freight. Because my store that I work at gets a shitload. And if they say it's easy, they're either lying or they don't get a ton of freight. Because if you get trucks where it's like going slow, then it's not bad. One of the things I do want to add to this is, depending on the person who's actually throwing the freight onto the line, it can either be really fucking easy or it's going to be really fucking hard. Which is also why most of the time certain lanes will get full. Like we have one of the main dudes that throws the truck at my store. He does, and this is actually extremely fast. He does about 25 to 26 cases, which is this package. It doesn't matter what size or weight or anything. He does 25 to 26 packages a minute. And this is like, this is why it also breaks a ton, because it's so much freight going through that sometimes it's going to miss a couple, because they're going to get fucking, because it's supposed to be one by one. It's supposed to be in a line. The boxes can't be side to side. They can't be stacked on top of each other. It has to be one by one behind each other. It's like you're in kindergarten and you're going to lunch. You have to stand in a straight line. Back to, you know how it is. It has to be exactly like that. And if the boxes get fucked, then let's say 3 boxes are next to each other. It's going to pick one of those boxes. It's going to take that box to the right spot. But then those 2 boxes that weren't supposed to be there are going to get sent to that line. So let's say a box for sports. Let's say a sport box is going. And there's 2 grocery items. It's going to scan the sport box, take it to the sports section, and it's going to send the grocery items over there with the sports section as well. And now you have a lane that has 3 items in it when it should have only had 1. So there's a bunch of shit that they're not supposed to have. So now they need to toss that stuff over to you, giving them more work when the fucking machine is supposed to be doing all this bullshit. Anyway, like I said, we're going to move on. You get where the truck sucks. But if you have someone throwing the truck that's not fucking throwing it like it's the goddamn Indy 500, then it's fine. If they're going a decent pace, because a 15 to 16 case per minute is actually really easy. But when you get to the 25s and 26s, where the lanes start to get packed really fast, and they get packed really fast when it's the same thing. Like today, one of the big things that got filled up really quick was the motor oil pallet. It literally, I think we were on the truck for about 5 minutes, and we already had to switch the pallet out because there was so much freight going into that pallet. It was literally, like, for the first couple minutes of the truck, it was literally only fucking, I don't even know what, it wasn't motor oil, but it was an item that goes into that pallet. I don't know what it was. I think it was I don't even know what it was, but it was something that goes on that pallet. But yeah, let's move on from the truck. You get the point. And so basically, the position that I work, like I said, is a freight worker. And the freight worker at the place that I work is like, me and my friend would consider it the backbone of the store. And if you don't know anything about the human body, if you don't have a backbone, you can't really function very well. Imagine not having this backbone at the store. What are these fuckers gonna do? You know, without my team, this store would not work. Is basically what I'm saying. If my team wasn't there, the cashiers would be useless. The managers would be useless. Not that they aren't already useless, but that's a different thing for a different time completely. But like I said, the cashiers would be useless. The produce people would be useless. Everybody would be useless. Well, I mean, the produce people kind of are the same as us, but they do only produce, where we do everything except produce. Like, my team does grocery, paper and chem, the baby stuff, the infants, the toys. I mean, we can. Most of the time, we're only in grocery, but yeah, basically, my team wasn't there. None of this stuff would work. And how much do you think we get paid out of everybody? I'm not gonna. I mean, we get paid $14.50 an hour, and that's an increase from what it was, $1.50 increase, because we used to get paid $13 an hour, and now we get $14.50 an hour. Where do you think we rank in the most paid to least paid? Let me tell you, I don't know if we get. I think we would get paid more than them, but I don't think we do actually, because I'm pretty sure we get the same amount. But basically, my team is at the fucking bottom of the barrel. We get paid the least amount out of any group. Though there are some groups that get the same amount as us. But the point is, we have the hardest job at this place and get paid the least amount. Because we did a survey recently explaining, we were like giving the feedback to everybody. And one of the questions, it wasn't even a question, but it was like you got to write an answer. You got to actually type out your feelings to these people, to like the managers of the store, and they're gonna like read it and shit. And basically, I put that my team is overworked and underpaid. And this is a thing that has been since I've been working here for almost a year, and this has been a problem the entire time. And the current supervisor that runs us is actually fighting to get us more money. And if it wasn't for COVID, we actually wouldn't have gotten this $14.50, because the only reason we get $14.50 now is because it was increased, because obviously they did the essential workers got an increase in pay, except my team. At least only team I know of that kept it was my team. I'd assume everyone else probably kept it as well. I don't know though. But yeah, my team kept the extra $1.50 at least until February, which is fucking, if it goes down, it's fucking bullshit. But yeah, so my team is the least paid, and we have the hardest job at the store. Riddle me that one, fucking Batman. How the fuck does that work, you know? That's extremely frustrating, especially when they push our team to finish all this bullshit that is unrealistic, because this is how that goes. This job is so bullshit that the team has gotten progressively smaller and smaller throughout the weeks, because people either switch positions because it's bullshit, or they just completely quit. Like today, for example, our supervisor wasn't there, so we had literally nobody. Nobody was leading us for the first like 5 to 6 minutes, and one of my coworkers was like, "If no one's here in the next like 5 minutes, I'm leaving." And someone did show up before that, but he left anyway, and he's probably gonna get in trouble. But I don't know. But yeah, he just left. So then we were even, because we only had, I think, realistically, we only had like 4 people. And one of them fucking left. I mean, there was like 7, but there's only about 4 of them who mattered. 4 or 5 that mattered. And then, what if I had 8? But then obviously, like, one of them left. And it fucked. The truck was so fucking bullshit today. If he stayed, the truck would not have been that bad. He's the sole reason to why the truck today sucked, because he was being a fucking dumbass. And if he listens to this, I need him to know that he was a fucking douche for leaving. And I'm just saying that. I'm not I mean, I'm not fucking scared of them. But yeah. Well, yeah, that's why my job sucks. And, but yeah, we have to unload all this stuff because we also have these things called HV trucks, which I don't even know what the HV stands for. I forgot. But yeah. But we have to unload. So let's say we have a 2,500 piece truck that we have to unload onto the line, but then we also have a 1,000 piece HV truck. And remember, my team is small. If we had a normal sized team, this would be no problem. But since I have a small team, this is a very big issue every single day because they give us the amount of work a normal sized team should have on a team that is like half the size of a normal team. A normal team should be about, I think, like 18 people. And I think altogether there's like 9 or 10 of us that can actually work. Because I know one of the miners that works with us like fucked up his foot or something, so he can't work right now. And then there's another miner that sometimes shows up and doesn't. Obviously, I'm kind of a scumbag when it comes to showing up to work, even though I've stopped doing that. I go to work every day now. I don't know. But yeah. They expect us to do that amount of work every single day, and then I don't even want to get into it because it's going to get to the point where it's confusing and it doesn't even make sense anymore. But yeah. Let's move on. And by the way, I work at Walmart, and I'm on Cap 2. But yeah, so I work at Walmart on the Cap 2 team. If you want to Google anything about Cap 2, it is a very hated position simply because of the things I just said. It's a hated position everywhere. It's not just my store. It is known to be a terrible position just because of everything I said. When I say I'm overworked and underpaid, everywhere else says the same thing. Every store everywhere will say the same thing because it is fact. It is true, and they need to know this. I would say my job, to make it worth the work, I think we need to get paid like, I don't want to even say this, but I'm thinking like $20 an hour. $21 an hour. This is like, we're pulling 1-ton pallets of like freight. Like today, I think if I counted all the weight I pulled today, it was probably over 12 to 13 tons worth of freight to the floor. Plus I had to do the bullshit truck. Plus I had to stock all this shit on a small team. But yeah, Walmart Cap 2. Let them know how it is. Bullshit. Anyway, we're going to move on because this podcast is going to be long. Like my cock. By the way, I do have a massive cock. I'm not even just gassing about that either. I literally have a massive cock. But we're going to get into the PS5. So basically, if you guys haven't seen the PS5, by the way, the PS5 is fucking massive. It is huge. It is so huge. It's literally the size of a fucking torso of a normal-sized human being. I think just any size human being. Maybe not a little child, but like a grown human. Think of like their waistline to like the fucking, like shoulders. The fucking PS5 is fucking massive. It's like a little fucking, I don't even know what to call it. Just Google the PS5 and look at the size. Like there's a video that Sony made recently where they took one apart. Look at the fucking PS5 when it's next to this dude sitting down. It's literally the same height as this guy when he's sitting down. It's crazy. It's massive. So if you don't have a lot of desk space, you're going to have to figure something out because it is big. It's a big boy. It's a thick, it's not chunky, but it's very big. It's tall. I should say that. It's tall. It's really tall. It's not really like wide. It's not like the fucking Xbox Series X. It's just really fucking tall. But one of the things that I think I'm pretty much dead set on this now, but I'm going to be getting a PS5 before I fix up my PC. I've decided, because if I get this PS5, I mean, they haven't really said that you can do this yet, but I don't know why you wouldn't be able to, because the PS4 could do it. But I was thinking I might just stream off the PS5, and I'm assuming that it'll let you, because I'm pretty sure the PS5 is going to come with a camera. I'm pretty sure this time they just come with cameras. So I'm going to stream off the PS5, assuming it actually lets you, because I don't know if it's going to, but I don't know why you wouldn't be able to, because the fucking PS4 could do it. So assuming we can, we're going to stream off the PS4, but regardless, I'm going to get the PS5 first. The digital edition, because I don't need the fucking disc drive. But yeah, that's really all I want to talk about, is that I'm going to be doing that instead. And, but yeah, I have plenty of desk space. I have the whole left side of my desk is empty. There's literally nothing there. So we have plenty of space for it. And, yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. But hey, let's move on. I just want to, this is another quick thing. For anyone wondering if you're someone who does watch my stream, twitch.tv/ImNexusss, by the way. If there is anyone that does watch my stream and is wondering why I'm still not streaming a lot, I've done one successful stream, and it was my return stream, because I did a Fallout 3 stream and it crashed, like I said last stream. I've only done one stream that actually worked, and I just haven't wanted to stream. Like, I almost streamed yesterday some more Among Us, just by myself in random lobbies, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing. Probably not, I don't know about tomorrow, but like Saturday night is probably what I'm going to be doing. Well, maybe tomorrow, I don't know, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't know, I just haven't had the motivation to stream. Right now, when it comes to the stream, I'm more into doing the podcast than I am streaming right now. That being said, I'm still going to stream, but right now, it probably just won't be a lot. Because I just don't want to. I just don't want to. I'm not going to do something I don't want to, because it's forced, and it just doesn't, and I mean, there's no point, you know? So like I said, I'm still going to stream, just not a ton. And another quick part of the podcast is Quad Pay. If you guys have never heard of Quad Pay, basically, I'm not sponsored. I just want to make that very fucking clear, in case anyone is getting pissy. Anywhere, just so this is anywhere, mainly for YouTube, because YouTube gets pretty pissy if you have sponsored content. I'm not sponsored by Quad Pay. I'm just promoting them because it's fucking awesome. But basically, this is an app on iOS, Google Play, wherever the fuck you get apps. I don't know. There's an ad called Quad Pay, and it works pretty much anywhere. Amazon, Newegg, Best Buy, anywhere. Fucking probably works at fucking Walmart. It does work at Walmart. Any store you can think of, it most likely will work. But basically, let's say Amazon, for example. Let's say I go on Amazon and I want to buy like $100 pair of shoes. I can go on Quad Pay, and they'll take this $100 pair of shoes, and what they'll do for me is they'll split that $100 pair of shoes into 4 payments. So what's 100 divided by 4? It'll be $25 for 4 weeks. Except they're gonna charge you like $1 extra just because of their service fee. So they're gonna be $26. I think it'd be like $25.99. It'd be like $25.99, $25.99, and then $25.25. But you pay every 2 weeks. You'll pay $25. Then you pay another $25, and then 2 more weeks you pay $25, and then $25.25. And then you just got $100 pair of shoes without having to put $100 up front. I mean, if it's something you're interested in, definitely download the app. The starting amount that you can do is $200. So if you want to buy something that's $201, you're unfortunately gonna have to build up the amount that you can actually use. But yeah, you just have to build it up. I don't know what else to tell you. But yeah, Quad Pay is cool. I thought I'd shout that out real quick. You'd have to, if you Google it, it'll make more sense to how it works. But essentially is what it is. Any item you can split into 4 payments as long as your quad pay money is high enough. Because quad pay gives you $200. So if I buy something that's $200, it'll just be split up into $50 every 2 weeks that I have to pay. And then you just pay off your balance through quad pay. So pretty much Amazon gets paid off, and now you're paying quad pay back, essentially. And it's pretty cool. If there's something out there that you can't put $200 up for, but you're like, oh, I can put 50 up, then yeah, go fucking do it. Fucking run free. Just know it's automatic. It'll take money automatically every 2 weeks. So if you can't do that, don't fucking do it. I'll say that. But just to end the podcast, oh shit. I just dropped my fucking phone onto my ankle bone, dude. You know that burning pain when it hits your fucking ankle. But yeah, I do want to say thank you to everybody who's been listening to the podcast. We've been growing every single episode. We've been growing that. It's crazy. I mean, Anchor gives you these, in the dashboard, it gives you some analytics, I guess you could call them. And pretty much gives you the total amount of listens you have, and then the estimated average listeners, like how many people have been listening to it. And then it gives you something else. I don't remember what the third thing is. Then it gives you information to where everyone listens to the podcast at. And we actually have a pretty good variety. We have a good majority does Spotify. We have some people who do Overcast. I have some people that do Apple Podcast. And then there's a section for other, which would be the other random ones like Radio Public and shit. I don't know where else other would be. But yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody who listens to the podcast. It means a lot. This is something that I'm really into right now, and I'm hoping to do it for a long time. And as long as you guys are willing to listen, I will keep doing it. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this podcast. Hope you did enjoy. And like I said, the podcast is on YouTube now, if that's where you want to listen to it. But yeah, like I said, follow me on Twitter at ImNexusss. It's now in the descriptions everywhere it is. So yeah, if you guys want to know my Twitter, go down to the description of this podcast. Go drop me a follow. And then that will lead you to Twitch, and then you're good to go. Follow me everywhere. Just type at ImNexusss in the Google search bar and fucking follow everything. Unless it's not me, then don't follow it, because I ain't fucking promoting anybody. Except myself, because I'm selfish. But anyway, guys, like I said, I appreciate everyone for listening. And hope you have a good night, good day, good afternoon. And I'll see you guys later.